r/ask Reddit. What is something you will never be able to tolerate? The sound of my own voice on a recording. Mine sounds like someone high-pitched my voice and is mocking me. I hate that bitch on recordings. She's so rude. I think I sound like a small child. I'm technically in management and we record our meetings. It's odd to listen to what sounds like a child giving orders. I think I sound bored out of my mind, with a stuffy nose and like I am utterly dense. I hate my voice very much. Thank you. When the page doesn't fully load by the time you click on something, then bam it does and everything was shifted and look, you just clicked on an ad and you're being redirected to a new page. I have to log into the cloud every day at work and there's a stupid questionnaire that pops up exactly where the continue button was half a second before and it drives me insane when I press it. When I log into my email at work, there's a pop-up asking if I want to save my credentials on that computer to save time logging in next time. There's also a checkbox to not be asked again. The first time that happened, I checked the box and said I don't want to save my credentials. I've also done it every single time I've logged in since. People that enter somewhere busy like a Costco, find the worst choke point like the exit, then stand there and go through their bag looking for a napkin or some other shit. Move to the side. There are dozens of people trying to pass you. Okay, the amount of full-grown adults who are unaware of their own surroundings is wild to me. All it takes is like 3 steps to the right or left and you'd be out of the way. Plus slow walkers. Also those certain individuals who just leave their cart in the middle of the aisle or in a busy area. Like, dude, I will move your cart to a place where you can't find it. Don't test me. Geez, I just really hate the grocery store on busy days. People who borrow stuff and never return it. Or damage it and return it. I lent a basically new book to a buddy and when I got it back it looked like a library book after 40 years. And the thing I don't understand is he never even finished reading it. How did it get so ducked up if you couldn't even be bothered to read it? He probably left it in his car. Yep, a friend of mine borrowed my copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide, left it on the dashboard of his car for a month, didn't read it, and returned it to me with the glue dissolved in the pages falling out. People in a position of power being an a-hole nasty to people below them for no reason. They forgot where they came from, or were never there in the first place and have never appreciated what they were given. This happened with an old co-worker of mine. She was a tech in the pharmacy, then went to pharmacy school and got hired as a staff pharmacist at our store. Said she specifically wanted our store because she'd known all of us for so long and our crew was a rare thing to find. Proceeded to be the worst pharmacist to date that I have ever had the misfortune to work under. Constantly sent back scripts we'd typed, which lowers our numbers and hurts our metric score, and sometimes refused to tell us why. We'd have the pharmacy manager and other staff pharmacists look at them and they sometimes couldn't even spot a mistake. She'd continue to send them back. Mocked any genuine mistakes we did make with comments like, where did you go to school? Did you even read this? OMG, really? If she didn't like a patient or if they were filling narcotic pain medicine or Subutex Suboxone, she'd pad the wait time, sometimes by hours, or tell them the drug was out of stock when it wasn't. Wrote people up for the pettiest nonsense and sometimes goaded the tech who is famously a bit neurotic and has mental health issues. The market manager mysteriously moved her to a store in the next city and she had no choice in it. She tried claiming our manager was being sexist but her replacement was female. Difference of night and day, and we no longer leave work in tears. Not covering your mouth when you cough. I cough into my elbow so as to not get germs on my hands, but everyone thinks I'm dabbing all the time. Just before you cough, say yeet so they know that you are dabbing, instead of just thinking. People who don't indicate when driving. I am now driving. This guy is great. People being rude to service staff. I recently left the service industry after 8 years and my stress, anxiety, blood pressure and excess weight have all dropped dramatically. I almost feel like I've been reborn. I just could not take the abuse anymore. People who are completely unaware of their surroundings. I'm talking about Karen who puts their cart diagonally in the aisle and blocks you from getting through and makes it seem like a huge inconvenience that they had to move their cart. I will move people's carts if they have done this. Easy fix. No need for any passive or overt aggression from anyone. Karen usually gets mad but you can just keep walking. I like putting expensive non-perishable items in their cart when they aren't looking. Hello 2-pack of 128 gigs of RAM. I'm a pretty mellow guy until my earphones get yanked out of my ears. Or people bothering you to take off your headphones only to ask for a smoke. I'm not even smoking and don't smoke. I was enjoying a cig outside King's Cross station in London, and I had a guy approach me asking me for a light. I was happy to oblige. After all, he wasn't asking for a cigarette like the vast majority of people approaching me do. On giving him the lighter, he said, "Any chance of a cigarette I can use with this lighter?" It was clear at that point I had been bested. I had to give him a cigarette just out of grudging respect for the sheer cheek of it. People who walk slowly in front of you on the sidewalk or in hallways, and they manage to meander to get in your way still when you are trying to overtake them. I try to stay to the side. I have back problems, and when they flare I walk really slow due to the pain. I'm young and feel embarrassed because I don't look like I have medical issues. Lactose. I'm lactose intolerant. I was lactose intolerant. Then I developed the gut enzymes to tolerate it. Then I got sick and lost them all. Now I'm lactose intolerant again. Animal abuse. There is a special place in hell for these people. People who make fun of overweight people exercising. Of course, people shouldn't judge others by the way they look, so making fun of an overweight person is already bad. But when I hear someone making fun of an overweight person who's exercising, it makes me really angry. I usually feel the need to give a lecture about life to the wannabe joker. I am not here to protect overweight people or advocate FA. I just know that in my country, life is better for you if your BMI is somewhere between 19 and 25. And I know that while almost always possible, it's not easy to lose weight. So why the hell should people make fun of someone who's engaging a tough journey to get better? It's like laughing at patients in a hospital. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures. And the Dutch. Is this it? Are we finally reaching the point where most people don't get Austin Powers references? Today's a sad day. Hurting the vulnerable, children, elderly, the infirm, the vulnerable, the helpless, animals, bullying, etc. They can't fight back. You want to lay hands on something. I'm right here. I can fight. I volunteer. But it's not the same power trip when what you hit hits back, is it? Also scamming, taking advantage of the vulnerable. This too. Stealing from the homeless when you got money and a roof over your head is rotten as shit, as well. A guy I shared classes with in high school back in the early 90s went to prison for a good, long, well-deserved time for being in a group of juveniles that stomped a homeless person to death. And, looking back with what I know now, I'm honestly surprised the police even investigated. Willful ignorance. We have more knowledge at our fingertips now than at any other point in our history. There is no excuse for ignorance anymore. More knowledge, but also more misinformation. Having a big library that's filled 70% with bullshit is useless if you can't separate the non-fiction from the myth. Loud, wet chewing, lip smacking. My old roommate used to eat like a ducking camel, and I would lay in a ball on the couch trying my best not to just supernova right there in the living room. I swear to God that sound haunts my dreams. I hate conflict, so I never knew how to explain why I was folding in on myself like an envelope every time he had dinner. So yeah, that, and obnoxiously loud motorbikes. For me it is people who refuse to accept that their worldview is wrong or based on an incorrect assumption. If someone comes to you with irrefutable proof that there is some form of flaw in your logic, then all I ask is that you sit down and consider the possibility of you being wrong while having a civil conversation. Teachers, professors, instructors who are really insecure and take it out on students. Like you ask a question about the way they did something. Why did you take points off for that? Don't we have to move 20 yards during that choreography? etc. And they take it as a personal offense and get defensive and beachy. I instantly lose all respect for people like that. Littering says a lot about person and their respect for environment and people around them. Spitting, gross and rude. There's no way that this could be excused. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.